guys, thank you for liking, subscribing, watching, joining the Facebook group for Vegeta Saiyan Army. And today I'm just going to go over some of the cards you can use for this blue Vegeta leader. I know a lot of people are talking about the cards. Maybe, I hope, if I can help one of you guys, that's all that matters. I'm going to talk about some of the obvious cards, some of the more like janky cards. I think this deck, anytime you have a ramp deck, it brings back a couple of cards maybe that weren't so playable right now because they're so much cheaper. So if you don't know, when this leader attacks, he draws one. If he deals a damage with his own swing once per turn, he can you can grab a card from the top of your deck, reveal it. If it's a blue card, you charge it. When your life is at 4, you draw one and flip him. And again, in this part, when you swing, you draw one. He's 15k now. If he lands a damage, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a blue card, you charge it in rest mode. And on this side, though, if your opponent uses a counter skill, you can untap your leader, which is pretty amazing, okay? So again, obviously, this guy has ramp, and I'm going to just talk about the obvious cards first. Obuni, UI, Zeno, right? So for those few of you that don't know, Obuni is a 4-drop that plays 3 15k, 0.5k combos tokens, which is great because you're basically having 4 swings. And not just that, he has the flex, so he's going to hit, and activate main every turn. He looks at your opponent's top card, and if it's a battle card, you're going to get to untap one, right? At the start of your opponent's next main phase. And I want to talk about that. I think we should focus, when we're building this leader, on things that help your curve, because this leader's curve isn't as great as like SS3, right? Or like Starter Coup Reboot, but it's got better ramp, and the hand is way better than SS3. So if we know what the weaknesses are with this leader, like if you love Vegeta, you shouldn't be listening to everybody saying this is the best leader. You should be listening to those few people that are saying this leader is bad. Don't argue with them, don't tell them they're bad, ask them why is it bad, and use that as feedback, because those people are the type of people that are saying what they think might be wrong with it, use it as info. I think that his hand is better than most ramp decks, but yeah, his curve might not be as great, right? And one of the things people are saying about this leader is that he has to land the hit to ramp, right? That's the criticism I'm hearing about this leader, is okay, you can ramp unless I combo a 5k. But here's my thing about that, and people are saying, okay, I'm going to use Ultra Instinct, Goku's Kamehameha, to push myself forward, right? To land that hit. But I think you might not have to, because in my opinion, I don't know, let him combo out, let him drop a card from hand. If it's turn 1 and I'm swinging at you, if you take it, you're plussing 1. You're actually, you're self-awakening, you're adding a card to your hand. So let's say turn 1 you have 5 cards in hand, which is very natural usually, 5 cards in hand turn 1. I could either, when I swing at you, if you over combo, you go to 4 cards in hand. If you take it, you go to 6. That's a big difference. You do that twice, you're setting yourself back really far. I think this leader isn't great because he ramps. I think he's great because he puts your opponent in a really hard scenario where they're like, am I going to really out-combo this dude's freaking 10k? Or am I going to let him ramp? That kind of sucks, right? So, we need to fix his curve, which Obuni does. Obuni does like 30 things. But not only does he fix that curve, he gives you aggression, right? Which can put pressure and make his awakened side stand-up skill really good. But I think that early game is going to really bother people over comboing that card. If you play with the best players in the game, like if you ever played against Eddie St. Hilaire, he's going to ask you how many cards in hand you have like twice a turn. That's because great players know that hand advantage is everything, okay? And this leader gives you an option to play with that. If you're talented enough, I think you can play with that. Zeno is a unison that has removal with a -5, ignoring barrier. Their board and your board. And also, once he's on a board, he's going to give you an extra energy every turn with a +2. He's going to grab a card from the top of your deck and charge it. And you're basically, it's like a release. You're going to have it for 1 turn, right? Again, another obvious card is Android 17, Turn of the Tide. He's critical, deflect for 7 energy. He comes out like turn 5 to 4 with this deck, which is cool. When he's played, everyone puts their cards back in their deck from their hand, shuffles, and your opponent puts their battle cards from a drop area to the deck, so he's really cool. But he people seem to think that Android 17 is like a play it and win type of card with no talent, but you'll see the best players are the ones that know how to really play this card because he is not like a helmet card at all. You require actually an amount of setup that lets you play him and win the game because he's not exactly a win more. You need to have a board established to be able to, you know, kill your opponent. They have to be at lethal range for this card to work. But this is the obvious card that I'm showing you guys, these first two slides. And now I'm going to go into Zeno, Edge of Space. I think this is the super combo to use. Again, we haven't seen the new cards, right? At the time of you guys watching this video, we're going to see the new cards. And then when that comes out, I'll make a deck profile, I'll make a video. But for now, I think this is a super combo to use. Why? Because it fixes your curve, right? You play it for one, you draw, right? And then when you combo with it, you combo with your heifers at 5 or less, you're actually fixing that kind of a bad curve that Vegeta has. For now, we haven't seen the rest of the set, and also, when you're ramping with your leader, you could ramp, who knows, a secret rare, or a super combo, something you don't want charged. Zeno gives you the ability of swapping that back to your hand, right? So it has a lot of utility. Also, remember he's a god, okay? Because one of my favorite combos is Great Priest, Herald of Deliverance, right? If your opponent, if you have 4 or more energy, and you choose 2 non-Great Priest God cards in your battle area and return them to your hand, you can play this guy. I know a lot of you guys don't like this card, and that's fine, no worries. I just want to show you guys this combo, and I want to show you guys a lot of cards that some of you may think are bad, right? And they might be very bad. I'll let you know which ones I think are great, good, bad, but I want to put this in everyone's like radar because maybe a better mind than mine can break this, and we're trying to make this leader great, right? And we're not going to do that if we're hiding all this spice. But I think this guy's actually really good. Iskai Keeping Watch is a god that you play for 1, you draw 1, and every time your opponent plays a card on your turn, they have to bottom deck a card. So if they topo, they actually have to drop 2. So Iskai is really good, right? So let's say that you have an Iskai and then your Zeno super combo. Okay, you can bounce those 2 back to your hand for 1 energy and play the Great Priest. Like, you're not bouncing back like the Beerus 5-drop god. You're not bouncing back cards on board that have a good presence. You're bouncing back 1-drops that you can play again as a cantrip, and it's for 1 energy. So you're just drawing off of it. Time's Choice, Supreme Kai of Time, I don't think you should be playing anything but mono blue cards in this deck, but if you want to play 1 or 2, I mean, it's only going to be like, what, 4% chance of you, getting like a black card or a multicolor card, depending what you're having. But if you want to risk it for the biscuit, you can play Time's Choice, look at the top 3 cards, grab a battle card, swing with it, and then play Grand Priest for 1, and then get the Time's Choice back, get the Iskai back. And these are combo cards. This is just cards to your hand. And you're getting a 20k critical on board. Again, it helps the hand. You're drawing 2, you're getting a critical on board. It helps your hand, which again, it's something I think blue needs to work on. So again, by the way, about the black card, your deck should be like 99% blue, maybe 1 multicolor card, maybe 1 black card if you like the tech. When I played SS3 like a year ago, when like Scientist Fu was like the best overroam card, I remember running like 2 Scientist Fus. And sometimes, yeah, I'd flip it off the life, but that happens. If that's something you want to do it. If not, don't, you know, just be aware of the combo. Rebirth of Justice is something you can do now turn 3. Again, this might be really bad, this might be really good. I think Rebirth of Justice on turn 3 is really good. You can bounce a card, and if you're playing a battle card that has inherent removal, maybe you can bounce other cards. Maybe you can bottom deck other cards. These are just some of the examples you can play. These cards are like from set 2 to 5. Like, I mean, these aren't great, but maybe they are great. If you can do them turn 3, like if you happen to have the sparking, if you have a card you want to bounce back to your hand, you can use Frieza. I mean, blue has a problem with removal. And these are some of the cards. Maybe you can use this instead of a Boonie. Maybe you can use this if you don't want to spend that much money, but it is an option. It is something you can do. I just want to put it in your radar. Again, the play, I think, is a Boonie, Zeno, Dimension Magic, obviously Zeno Unison, like I said, is on a super combo. I think that's the play, right? And then these are like auxiliary cards you may want to play. Okay, I don't want to hype up cards that I think are bad, but let's talk about it. What do you think? Do you think Rebirth of Justice at like turn 3 is a good play? I think it is. Maybe it's not. It requires testing. I've been testing it. It's good, but again, I don't want to say anything without the rest of the cards being out, right? So, this is actually really good. Janemba, Raging Incarnation of Evil, and Janemba, Infernal Intruder. The Janemba Infernal Intruder, if you have 3 or more energy, and if you have no battle cards, you can play this guy for 1 blue energy, right? And then you can loop another one for 2 energy. I get that. I know that the one on the left is better than the one on the right, but when I play this deck, I seldom have an empty board turn 3, and the 4-drop, he makes me draw, and he untaps 3 energy. So like that turn 3, when I play him, I'm gonna untap all of the energy that I use. It helps me with the curve, right? And the 1 extra energy, that's gonna be the Xeno energy that's gonna get dropped anyway. I actually like Janemba Raging Incarnation of Evil, but I'm just telling you what I've been seeing out of my testing. If you like the Janemba Infernal Intruder, put that in your deck. I get it. But again, also Janemba's like super cheap anyway, the one on the right, compared to the other one. This one's a spice that I saw a friend of mine, Jordan Kelly, and his friend Bradley Now are the one that came up with this, and I haven't tested this. Everything in this video I've tested, but this, I haven't tried Results of Training. I mean, I think it's a sideboard card. If you're playing against a control deck that isn't swinging at you, maybe like a Towa deck, and you feel yourself, again, you can do this turn 3. Results of Training, you tap 5, untap 4, and then Awaken. I just want to put it in your radar. I'm never going to main this card, but it could see a comeback in this deck. If you're playing against, it's a sideboard card. If you're playing against a deck that isn't gonna want to over combo early on, that's gonna definitely let you ramp because it doesn't care, right? And it's not gonna swing at you. I know these are 2 things that are like, but I feel like a deck like Toa might let you do that, right? Results of Training might be really good. Something that can help you wake up. And again, this isn't crazy. This is a set 1 card. But again, anytime you have a ramp leader, it's worth discussing. What do you guys think about Results of Training? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's not? I think it's actually pretty good. Okay, SSB Vegeta Soaring Blow. This card's actually great because it's a Union Batora for free over a blue Goku and Vegeta, and you can use cards from your energy as Union skill from your hand. This is actually really good. So it's basically a free 20k that bottom decks 2 cards on your opponent's side. Again, it's free, helps with the curve because it's free, and it bottom decks 2 cards. I love removal. Removal in blue is something blue needs. Again, a lot of these cards are great, good, and okay, and I just want to put it in your radar because a lot of you guys are just better players. If I can get this in your head chamber and a better mind than mine can like break this deck, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in Vegeta Saiyan Army, you know how we do. We share our ideas, we try to make the deck better, and Vegeta's something to look out for at all costs. Vegeta. Turn 3, you can play this guy, take 2 life, kill something, and it's triple strike. It's worth mentioning that at all costs Vegeta might be back. Like, you can take yourself down to 4 for the Awakening, right? And the reason at all costs Vegeta is kind of great is because it's one of those cards that's going to force a negate out of your opponent. And any card that forces a counter skill is the type of card I want in my deck because it's going to force my leader to stand up, right? So that's really important. Another card I want to play, and this is really bad, I'm not going to lie, but if you're running Vegeta Energy Absorber, which is completely possible in this deck, it's going to help you draw every time you untap, Deadly Defender, whatever. I have a dream that one day I get to play one-hit destruction Vegeta against someone. I've been playing since set 1, and I never have. For those of you that don't know, if you have 7 or more energy, you can evolve one-hit destruction Vegeta over any Vegeta, right? I think that if I play the 17, Turning the Tide, I'm going to play one-hit destruction, because I'm just going to play it over a Vegeta, then go into Turning the Tide, and then wipe their hand, swing for crit, and then swing for triple strike. I know a lot of you, I know this isn't like the greatest thing, but it's worth testing, and I'll let you know about it. Like, I'm not just going to test them and not tell y'all. I'm telling y'all, this is a free triple striker. So when I play Deadly Defenders or Vegeta Energy Absorber, that is something to go into. What is the worst card I've shown you today? Anyone that tells me what the worst card I've shown you today you get a free Obuni. I'm kidding. But I have, again, a lot of great cards here, a lot of bad cards. I like starting to talk about this leader. The reason I'm starting to talk about this leader so much is because some of you are so great, and I want to get that information. I am desperate to get this leader to be great because I love him. So all of the feedback is necessary. If somebody says this leader is bad, that's great. Don't argue with him. Don't tell him he's bad. I would rather talk for half an hour to somebody that says my leader is bad than somebody that says it's good. Because that dude telling you it's bad is going to give you a lot of good feedback for you to learn off it. Everyone that's saying that Vegeta, there's a few people saying this guy isn't like tier 0, and that's great. Learn off of him. Why is he not? They're going to say because his hand might be low or because he might not have like guaranteed ramp. Great, go with that. See how you can fix that weakness. The hand removal. Again, we want to play mono blue cards, but the Gohan and Piccolo for 1 blue energy, bottom deck 2 3-drops, right? And it doesn't get hit by counterplay. So if you're playing AOD, you're not going to get, is it Android 13? That, like, whatever. It's activate main from the hand. For 1 blue, you discard this card, and you bottom deck 2 3-drops. Again, blue has a problem with removal sometimes. And this card, the Gohan Piccolo's great as a tech, maybe 1 or 2. Just want to put that. By the way, you're never going to play this for the triple attack double strike. I just like the activate main for 1 energy. Just think about that. Ghost Rampage, Go Tanks. I mean, turn 3, you get a double striker, and he bounces everything back to your opponent's hand. I hate bounce. I love bottom deck. But honestly, it is a barrier double strike. It does have mass removal. And the best part is the burst 5. Because the burst 5, you kind of want 5 in your drop. You're going to tap out once if you're playing this deck, right? And that curve tap out, you want to have a D-Magic in store. Or you want to have a God Sealing Trunks with your Zeno Unison as a backup. And Ghost Rampage really helps with that. I don't think I'm going to play that card, but I want to put that in your mind. So if there's a better mind out there that can break this card, you can do it. Dragon Fist is actually really good. I actually might main Dragon Fist. Barrier, double strike. When this card attacks, you can choose a card ignoring barrier and return it to your opponent's hand, and then you choose 2 energy and switch it to active mode. Helps with the curve, barrier, double strike, and helps with removal. Really good. I love Dragon Fist, Ghost Rampage, and Gohan Piccolo. Something to think about. Okay, these are actually great. I don't know why nobody's playing Energetic Frenzy Kefla. It's a 1-drop, 25k that draws 2 every turn. So it is a 7-drop, but for every blue card in your field, it gets 1 energy cheaper. So it's going to be a 3-drop. But once per turn, you're going to draw 2 cards. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, you choose up to 2 of your blue energy, swap them to active mode. I don't know why no one's playing this. Every turn, this girl is going to make you untap 2 and draw 2. And it costs 3 energy. So she costs, I don't know why no one's playing it. I don't get it. She does have unique or permanent that makes only 1 be played, but whatever. If you want to play like a Walmart version of her, Android 18, Never Ending Energy, it's more consistent actually because you're going to see her more often. She's easier to play. But you're actually raw dogging 3 energy. It's not like Kefla that's actually going to make you untap every turn. You have to card cast 3 energy for 18. But she does make you draw 2. She is 20k. She's actually really good. Master Roshi is also amazing because he makes you draw 1, right? At the end of the turn, every turn. When you play him, he has a removal. You choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and you place him at the bottom of the deck, and he has critical, dual attack, and barrier. It's crazy, right? So this guy's going to come out like turn 4. Critical, dual attack. Great for your hand. Drawing, great for your hand. Removal, great for your board. This is something Vegeta needs. What's the worst card I showed you today? I'm sure I showed you some bad cards. I hope this video helps one of you. Thank you for liking, subscribing, watching. What do you like about this leader? What don't you like? What do you like about the cards that I showed you? What don't you like about them? I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna have an actual deck profile with really good cards. Once the cards are revealed, I'll post it. Jamie's gonna have his own deck profile as well coming out. I'm gonna have testing. I've been testing this leader, but I don't want to post testing until all the cards are revealed. But let's start talking about this leader. Let's get the discussion going because I love him and I want to make him great. It's our job to make Vegeta great again now. Bandai gave us the leader. Thank you. It's amazing. I'll see you guys next time.